plan to shake up NCEA has been met with uproar by teachers. The Ministry of Education is proposing a raft of changes, including dropping several subjects from the curriculum.
Latin, classics and art history are all on the chopping board, and science subjects like physics and chemistry would be replaced with a single subject. The proposal's got science teachers up in arms. It may be a subject based on trial and error, but science teachers say the Ministry of Education shouldn't be experimenting with their curriculum. A proposed plan for NCEA Level 1 could see biology, chemistry, physics and earth and space science absorbed into one generic subject. The Ministry says it'll offer students a broader view of the subject, with room to specialise in later years. But science teachers disagree, saying the change would be bad for science, slashing the number of future graduates. And Ian Torrey, Secondary Chemistry Teachers of New Zealand co-chair, is with us. Ian, tell us, why is the government doing this?
The government has 7 stated criteria as to why they would change the choice of subjects available at Level 1. One of the criteria, probably the most important one, is they wanted a broad-based general qualification at Level 1. And it's very difficult to understand how they achieve that when there are still 10 languages to choose from, 5 social sciences, 4 technologies, 5 arts, and there is 1 science. So it seems a bit strange that science has been singled out as the only area of the curriculum that has no choice.
Ultimately, what will this mean for students?
The problem with chemistry and physics in particular is that the subject is a spiral curriculum. What that means is that students will now try and go into Level 2 with very little conceptual framework compared to what they do now. That's going to make an already difficult jump and transition for students to change from Level 1 to Level 2 in the single sciences. It's going to make it much more difficult. It's probably going to lead to more of them dropping out and getting disillusioned, and it may actually lead to fewer of them actually trying to go on in the sciences because they'll just find the gap too big.
Well, this is obviously a serious problem because we don't want students dropping out of science. It's very important for our future, for this country's future, that we have plenty of students studying science.
Yeah, the claim is that this will actually encourage students in. Well, I've talked to my students. I'm not sure if the ministry has talked to many students, but the reason why they take science is because it's different to other subjects. Writing is not a strength of some students, and they don't want to write large amounts, don't want to write reports, and in science currently we don't have to have a big emphasis on that because there are other objectives. They will also find it very difficult to transition through to tertiary because they will not have the background that the tertiary would expect from them. And I'd have to say that my tertiary colleagues at universities and so on are appalled at this decision. They just cannot understand it at all, and they are certainly concerned about the fact that they might have to introduce their own entry qualification, and they might have to, for example, make a degree longer because the students will not come in with that conceptual foundation of knowledge and understanding that they currently do.
Well, that would be a remarkable thing to do, and an obvious example of it having been a failure. Ian Torrey, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And just to point out, so for people of my age who don't know exactly the age that we're talking about here, we're talking about Year 11, which is 5th form, the old School C.
Yeah, so they're talking about taking all those sciences and offering just a general science subject. There is actually a general science subject already on offer at Level 1, but it means getting rid of chemistry, physics and bio and earth and space science, which would be a real worry. The other area that is interesting too is also economics, business studies and accounting. They would be gone, and there will be one subject called commerce, which would be difficult for students going to Level 2.
Yes, and classics, art history and also Latin.
Oh, yeah.
Gone.
Gone burger. Completely.
Coming up on 7 Sharp.